Today, we are going to talk to our friend Jess with Uplyfe about how to teach yoga to kids. You might remember Jess from our podcast episode called Mindfulness for Kids. So if you want any more information about her and her background and her company Uplyfe, go ahead and check it out. We'll leave a link below or it's in the card above. Jess, can you give us a quick definition of what yoga is?
Quickly, yoga is unity, and so it's the unity of the mind, body, and the spirit coming together to reach an enlightened state.
So why should parents teach yoga to kids?
Teaching yoga to your kids can help influence them in a positive way to learn emotional intelligence techniques. That way they can learn how to regulate their emotions. Instead of throwing tantrums wherever you are, teaching them yoga will teach them to go inward. And so instead of being outward with their emotions, they'll go in and really assess and question if those emotions are something that they want to feel and the tools and techniques to get out of those emotions back to a good vibration.
So Jess, what are some of your favorite yoga poses to teach to kids?
The first pose that I ever taught any of my kids was child's pose, and that's toes together and knees apart and bringing your chest and forehead to the ground. The reason why I love this pose is because it can solve a lot of some of the issues your children will have, such as a stomach ache or anxiety or just plain old crankiness. Tell them just get in child's pose and it usually solves a lot of issues that they're having. Another pose that I like to teach them is cat camel, and they think this is really fun because it's two animals that they can do. And cat camel is when you're on your hands and knees and you take a deep breath in to prepare, and when you exhale you push your mat away and arch your back like a camel, and then you take a deep breath in and lift your heart up and stick your tail out like you're a cat stretching, lifting your chin up towards the sky. My kids like to do this kind of fast, even though I would recommend that you do it slow and with your breath. But my kids love to do it really fast and it looks really funny. Another great pose that challenges their core is three-legged dog. And so that's getting into downward dog and having your child stick one leg out into the air. They love this. It helps them tighten their core. When they're sticking that leg into the air, have them take 3 long, deep breaths in. That'll help strengthen their core. Another great one that'll help straighten out their back and spine and help with their core strength is up dog. And that's when they're getting in plank position, they lower their hips towards the ground and lift their heart and chin towards the sky. Not only does this stretch your abdominal muscles, it helps work your core, strengthens your core, and then it undoes a lot of the forward head posture that we tend to get from sitting in the couch or sitting in front of TV. So it undoes the terrible forward head posture.
I need that one for sure.
A lot of adults could use this one. And then finally, doing tree pose is a great challenge for their balance. You've already strengthened their core with the other poses, so getting them into tree pose, which is standing in mountain, you can bring your hands to heart center, you can stretch your hands out for balance, and then bringing your foot all the way up above or below your knee joint and balancing on one foot.
And so how often would you recommend doing these poses with kids per day? I mean, is there a time, is 5 minutes enough, or should you do more? Is there such a thing as too much?
I use it intuitively. So if my kids, we're usually out and about doing something. If we're at a restaurant and they're kind of antsy, tree pose is great because then they have to be a statue and they have to be really still. So you can use it intuitively as you need it. You know, if you're out somewhere and they are complaining of a stomach ache and you're able to find a space where they can lay down in child's pose and relax and rest. But taking 5 minutes a day isn't a bad thing. You can always benefit from a 5-minute yoga session, even as adults, because this will help reduce our stress levels and it will help us go inward and replenish our cups. Because we're constantly doing, if you're a mom out there and you're doing, it's good to just stop doing and become a human being again and just be.
Regarding yoga and all of that, is there an easy way to teach meditation to kids?
Absolutely. The way that I teach my kids is just to tune into the sounds of nature. And kids will like to vocalize what they're hearing. So if they want to do that, it's fine because I want them to express themselves, but I ask that they whisper it. That way, my son, he's really, teacher's pet. He just loves to show off his skills. And so he'll be like, I hear this and I hear that. And it'll disrupt some of my other kids' ability to go inward and to listen. So instead of shouting it out, I ask him to just whisper it. You know, if you hear something, whisper it or say it to yourself inside your head. So listening to the sounds around them and then shifting from that into their body. And what are the hot places in your body? What are the cold places in your body? What places in your body feel tight and what places in your body feel really strong? So getting them to go inward and pay attention to those little nuances that are happening within them. And then finally, you can have them look around and see different objects that either bring them joy or bring them peace or are really beautiful to them. So they're actively finding something that they can focus their mind on. It's not TV, it's not video games, it's something in nature like a leaf or a beautiful flower. And that not only connects them to nature, but it helps them slow down a little bit and really smell the flowers.
So when parents try to use these techniques for PE in homeschool, why is it beneficial for their kids to practice yoga when they could just do some other activities?
I do definitely advocate for going on a walk and a jog and a hike, doing calisthenics. You know, my husband's a personal trainer, so I definitely make my kids drop and give me 20 push-ups every now and then. And yoga is a combination of doing physical activity to exert that extra energy, and it's also a combination of that with meditation and being one with nature and being in the present moment. So yoga is kind of all of these things combined. Teaching your kids to go inward by using these meditative and yogic practices teaches them at a young age to go inward rather than seeking something outside of themselves to find peace and balance, such as TV or video games, or, you know, when we get older, we might go shopping to help fill that void. Doing yoga is definitely a way to reprogram. Actually, there's many studies out there, and off the top of my head, I can name Camelia Vorkapik's study on mental health and wellness as it pertains to yoga. And she advocates for utilizing yoga and meditation to help reprogram your body and mind.
That all sounds amazing. I just love hearing about all this from you. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you and your company, Uplyfe?
Thanks for asking, Jenny. You can go to my website. It's www.theuplyfe.com. You can find my YouTube channel in the link box in my website and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every week I will be coming out with a new video that pertains to yoga, self-healing practices that you can teach your kids, as well as a parenting podcast that's just for parents to unload. So check that out and tune in every week.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also head on over to Uplyfe's channel and subscribe there as well if you want to see more homeschool content or yoga content. See you next time.